Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming out. My name is Allison McNeil. I'm a client manager on the Good Energy team, the consultant to the city on the Community Electricity Aggregation Program.
John O'Rourke and Good Energy.
Tonight, we're going to share a brief update on the Community Electricity Program, the status, an update on the launch, and then we'll run through a couple of basics just on the structure of the program and other ways you can learn more. So this program is a municipal aggregation program. Essentially what that means is that the city is pooling its buying power to select a supplier for the entire community. All this will change for any participants is your electricity supply service. So instead of coming from Eversource, it'll come from the program supplier. This will have no change to you as a participant. You'll still pay just one bill to Eversource. We'll get into that in just a second. So municipal aggregations are very popular in the state and in New England. There's over 170 active aggregations in the state. If you see here, the small chart is showing that actually most of the state participates in municipal aggregation. For residents, that's over 47% are receiving their electricity supply through an aggregation. Then we have basic service, which is that bottom chunk. That's your utility, Eversource, or National Grid. And then there's a small 15% chunk of folks who choose a third-party supply, a competitive supplier. Most of these programs have been able to offer historical savings. We certainly can't guarantee that, but it is a value of the program is to offer stable rates in a really volatile competitive electricity market here in Massachusetts. Something really great about these programs is that they are able to offer no changes to the participant. If you participate in low-income discounts, if you participate in budget billing, or if you have solar and you use net metering benefits, none of that changes for you. You'll still pay just one bill to Eversource each month. So what it'll look like on your bill is you'll see in the supply section something like Woburn Community Electricity or the supplier's name, City of Woburn. So the only thing that'll change is where the actual electricity supply comes from. The delivery side of your bill will not change at all. And just a reminder, the delivery side of the bill is pretty much all of the other services to get electricity through the wires, to your home. So that's things like maintaining those poles and wires, outage response, billing management, all of that stays the same through Eversource. So these are Woburn's program options. When the program launches, we'll have 3 options that you can choose to participate in. Woburn Standard is our default product. Then we have 2 optional products, Woburn Basic and Woburn Plus. If you're eligible for automatic enrollment, you'll automatically end up in that Woburn Standard product. You could elect the Basic or the Plus option as well. And really, these 3 products are designed to serve all the priorities of residents. So we have the Woburn Basic, which is our most economic option. So you're going to get the most cost savings in this product. Then we have the Woburn Plus, which is going to include the max amount of renewable energy, voluntary renewable energy. And then the Woburn Standard is a win-win. So it includes 10%, a little extra voluntary renewable energy, while still providing some cost savings. And just a little background on that, where we get the renewable energy credits that go into these products is from a nonprofit called Green Energy Consumers Alliance. These are all Class 1 RECs. Basically, it's just the state's terms for local, generated renewable energy credits that go back on the New England grid. These are mostly wind, some solar, there's some low-impact hydro, but the DOER, who we consulted with to develop this program, prefers these RECs. So when the program launches, participation is voluntary. No one has to join the program, and anyone can choose to opt out before the program starts or any time thereafter. How you participate, how you enroll, and how you opt out all depends on who you have for your electricity supplier As we get closer to the program's launch, you'll receive a letter in the mail if you are eligible for automatic enrollment. So if you have Eversource Basic Service, you can expect to see a letter in the mail outlining your options to participate. If you don't have Eversource Basic Service as your supply, you can still choose to participate. There'll just be an affirmative or an elective choice you have to make to join the program. So just a little status update. Come back to these. Just a status update of where we're at on the program. We hope to launch summer of 2025. The last time we were here, we were just getting ready to get the program plan approved by the DPU. Now that we have approval by DPU, we're working on selecting a date to select a supplier. So the city will go out and complete a bid to select a competitive supplier. Once we have those details, we'll have a few more community meetings. We'll be able to talk about pricing, the chosen supplier, and the term length of the program. I can leave it here. So this is our program phone number that comes to my phone directly. This is the Good Energy line. And then we have a program website, WoburnCommunityElectricity.com. So that will be updated as well as we get program pricing and supplier information. Okay. Anything I missed in that?
No, you did fine.
All right. Should we take some questions if we have any questions?
This isn't a public hearing, right? So, do we?
You don't have to
Okay,
say
yeah.
We know and love you, so we invite
Yes.
you.
Okay. So I guess one thing that I'd be curious to have more information on is we're going to have to choose which plan. So how do we make that decision?
Sure, great question.
So what is the difference between standard and plus?
Sure. So the standard product is going to take 10% of your usage and additionally source that from our voluntary recs, from Green Energy Consumers Alliance. So
Gotcha.
essentially what's happening here is the supplier that we choose is going to buy electricity for you. And then additionally on top of that, we're going to take 10% of your usage and buy credits of that amount, renewable energy credits. The Woburn Plus option is actually up to 100%. So there's an RPS. This is a required portfolio standard or renewable portfolio standard for Massachusetts, which requires all generated electricity to have, some amount of renewable energy. And we fill the gap from what that standard is up to 100%. So for the year 2025, that'll be 38%. So really the difference here, if we're looking at actual recs, is the standard is going to source 10% of your usage renewable energy, and the plus is going to source 38%.
So the basic has whatever the Massachusetts portfolio standard is, which is, do you know how much that is?
Yep, so that's 63% for 2025.
63%.
Yep, so there's a bunch of different things that go into that. There's the MA Class 1 recs, there's Class 2 carve-out. So there's lots of different pieces that Massachusetts says that's how much you have to give us of each of those things. So,
Gotcha.
yep, that's 63% for 2025.
Gotcha. Okay, so then that goes up to, is that 63% all class 1 or is there a mix? Okay.
I think it's only something like 25% that's Class 1.
Okay. So then that goes up to 34 for the standard and then 100 for the plus.
Right, depending on what you want to calculate. So if you're doing the whole RPS, it's more like 73% for the standard and then 100% for the plus. That's how we calculate it. But yeah, just based off Class 1, yeah, that'd be right.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, like, if there's any way we can tell, like, for the plus, like, is this going to be a 10% increase on the bill? Is it going to be a, like, if you're going, to 100.0%, like, the last little bit could be very expensive, perhaps. That's the thing I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, sure. Yep, so typically the price premium among these three is really tiny. Like, we're talking about a cent or less in between these. And this will be a lot more clear when we have actual pricing in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, it's a pretty small premium, and these are per kilowatt hours, so it'll be a pretty small premium between the basic, the standard, and the plus.
Gotcha. And this is annualized, the usage?
No, so this is actual. So for the RECs, it's annual purchases, but it's like any other competitive supplier for what we choose.
Gotcha. All right. And you said in 2020, the summer we'd be able to make the decision?
Yes, we hope to launch summer of 2025. Before launch, we have about a 45-day rollout, so people will be getting letters, press releases will go out, so everyone will have at least 30 days to make their decision once they receive that letter. But yep, we're hoping this summer.
Gotcha. And so then we just sort of get entered in a database on the Eversource side for this is your supplier.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, what is the difference between class 1 and class 2?
Sure. So there's lots of different renewable energy that's required as a part of the portfolio standard. I'm not sure what class 2 is. Class 1 is anything that's after 1997. So they're trying to keep that existing renewable energy generation online. But yeah, maybe we could talk afterward and look at those.
Yeah. I mean, thank you.
Yeah.
Down, I might as well ask a question. You said letters are coming in the mail. Will they be coming from the city of Woburn? Will they be coming from a particular organization? I ask because this past week, I received 2 different offers for aggregation. And I think we're probably going to be getting a lot more because people want to get us to sign up. And I'd like to make sure people know that we can what to look for, and we don't have to sign up for anything if we're interested in this, right?
That's right.
Because not that people are trying to take advantage, but people are trying to take advantage.
Oh, sure.
So I just want to make sure we know what to look for. Is it coming from a particular vendor, or is it going to be coming from the city of Woburn, the letters that come?
Yep, so anything associated with the program is going to have the city seal on it. The envelope will have the city seal on it. The letter inside will have the city seal on it. So we try to make sure that this is branded to make it very clear this is a legitimate city-run program. So you might see with the selected supplier, the return address might be whoever the selected supplier is, but it will say, time-sensitive notice from the city of Woburn about your electric supply.
Can you be able to follow up with any questions, John, phone or email?
That's right.
Confirm.
Right, and the flip side of that is nobody's ever gonna call. So
Yes.
people call and that they're, from.
We have, I know that there's live broadcast and recording. Can you just speak into the microphone, because I do think that's valuable to share.
Sorry, yeah.
To clarify, nobody will ever call you at home asking, and they might claim they're from the power company or something. You're never going to get a call. There'll only be mailings from this program, but you can reach out and call and ask questions. So right now there's a flurry of activity. I think of people who want to get people from Woburn to sign up, and it's not for real. They're trying to get you in a not so great offer before this program comes out. So I would be wary. If you have questions, reach out.
Yeah, I guess one last question I had was about the municipal resources that Woburn actually generates from, like, the dump solar and any other municipal buildings. Does that go into here, or does that just get sold back to Eversource and mix in with the general grid?
Sure. So for the municipal aggregation, everything is going to come from the supplier and then Green Energy Consumers Alliance. Most, I assume, municipal buildings have their own aggregation that they're probably already under private contract with. I don't know, Samantha, if you want to. Yeah.
Sure, so there's 2 very separate things. So the city already buys power and tries to get the lowest price possible. Correct me, Mr. Mayor, if I'm off base on this. So that is also called an aggregation because, different municipalities get together to try to get a good, sharp price. What this program is doing is giving residents this similar opportunity to come together and get a sharp price. In terms of solar on schools or on the city property, that is all separate contracts that were entered into long ago. So we can't kind of undo them to put them in here. However, that power is being purchased and put onto the grid. So maybe you're getting some electrons that come from some of those arrays. I don't know, but there's no real way to track the power from this goes to this and lets it solar on your roof, and then it's going straight into your house. information will be on the website that's linked onto the city's website. So if you have questions at any stage, you can just go to the city website and it'll be Woburn Community Electricity. You can link through to it. So once we do have bids and there are prices attached to it, you can just take a look right on the website and you'll be able to see, and there'll be prices attached to each of these different numbers. You know, is it 1 green leaf or 3 green leaves? What are the prices? But the Good Energy is also out there in quite a number of neighboring communities. So if you want to just get examples, you could look at other communities that Good Energy's in, because it's the same thing. You look at their website, there's a link through to, you know, the information for that city. They're all going to be different because people go out to bid at different times. If we go out to bid today versus tomorrow, all the prices are going to be different. So it's only indicative pricing. It's not going to be what we experience. We have no idea what we will actually get. But there are tons of communities around here that are working with Good Energy that will have pricing up on their website that you could take a look at. So an example might be Waltham, Malden, Somerville, Arlington, Medford, Winchester, I think Wakefield. Anyway, you can check them all out. I think, anyway, can't remember the other ones, but there's a lot.
Thank you, Susan. And I'll also just note that on the program website for our future community meetings, we'll have those dates, and if it's virtual, join links on there as well. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.